Hello, and thanks for choosing the Jefferson My Drinks Fantasy Podcast, the pod on a mission to normalise 8-team leagues. I'm Pete McManus, and I'm your host for today, and I'm joined by Ian Harrison and Hallam Monk. Good evening, gents. How are we?
Ian, mate, you okay?
How are we?
We're good. Me and Ian are a bit thrown off because you're about 45 behind the curtains, but you're about 45 minutes earlier than you usually are. So we thought we had plenty of time to prep and chat.
Yeah, the middle one's not having a nap anymore, so it's just made it easier. Bedtime, finishing earlier, or finished bedtime earlier. So yeah, all good.
So officially, we're recording this on the 31st of July, but it'll go out tomorrow morning. So if you're listening, it's already August, which means football's back because the Hall of Fame game will have happened. For anybody who cares about the Hall of Fame game, couldn't even tell you who's in it. I don't really care about preseason at all, but it does mean we've got a little over a month until the start of the season. We're well into draft season now. I'm excited. I'm ready for it now.
Yeah, just over a month away from an actual game now, aren't we? So it's really starting to ramp up. Loads of reports over training camp performances and everyone getting hyped up by players that we shouldn't be getting hyped up about.
I love it. I love a training camp video.
I know. It's ridiculous. It's all the hype is about Chisholm at the Pats, and I'm loving it.
My favorites, and we won't get my favorite type of video is the one where you see them and it's like, oh, so and so one-handed catch down the sideline, and then you look back and you go, yeah, the quarterback would have got absolutely nailed in a game way before he released that ball. It's just like they're all just sort of like the D linemen have turned around as if to go, yeah, I would have already sacked him. I'm off to the sideline, and then he just carries on playing. It's like, oh, this guy's going to be brilliant.
It was the one I sent to you. I can't remember which betting agency put it up, but the one with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. It was FanDuel. I think it was FanDuel. They put the Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are going to tear up the AFC North, and it's an incomplete pass about 15 yards out of bounds. And I'm like, is that the only highlight you could find of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf?
Is that American sarcasm not quite hitting the spot?
I really hope so. I really hope they went on a fishing expedition and just reeled me in. Like, there's no way. There is no way you think these guys are going to run the league based on that one clip.
No. So on that point, I never really know when to do this, but I'm announcing it today that I'm going to make this the first episode of our third season of this podcast. Because there's never really a right point to stop, but we never in this off season we never kind of went right. We're into the new season. So as we're talking quarterbacks and our projections and everything else today, I'm officially announcing this as the first episode of our third season. So congratulations on going into a third season of a podcast.
Yes, I'd have dressed up for it if I'd have known.
Thanks to were you not wearing a tank top or a vest today?
That is true. I've actually got a collar today, so
you've made an effort tonight.
Yeah, but I am wearing shorts, so it's kind of smart casual.
That was a lovely view for the people on YouTube watching us on YouTube. And on that point, thanks to everyone who's listened over the last couple of years and watched us on YouTube. When we're getting trickles of people coming in all the time, and new people listening and subscribing and everything else, and we do appreciate it. Hopefully we have a laugh doing it. Hopefully you have a laugh listening and watching us. And like I say, tell your friends and continue. The other thing that I'm bringing in for season 3, I found a Twitter page, X page. I don't know what you call them now. An X page that has stats from the NFL history that are absolutely blowing my mind. So I'm going to give you one at the start of every episode.
Okay.
And I'm going to do this every episode until you go, Pete, that's crap. Stop doing that. So. All
right. Okay. Could be a short segment, mate.
This one, in 1967, in a game between the Packers and the Bears, the Packers turned the ball over 8 times. The Bears only turned it over once, and the Packers won 13-10. What a great performance that is. Turned it over 8 times to the Bears, and the Bears still only managed to score 10 points. There you go.
That's poor.
For more of that, tune in next week.
Yeah.
Right, get going. So on this episode, we are going to do our top 10 QB predictions for the season in terms of fantasy football, and then we are going to do the AFC. We're predicting the AFC in terms of where we think teams will finish. So before we get into our QB prediction, I'm going to give you the only difference. We've gone with standard scoring. The only difference that some people might use is we have 6 points for a passing touchdown, which has a slight difference, but not a major difference. We use that in most of our leagues, and I know it's becoming reasonably popular and reasonably standard. So that's the sort of scoring system we're going off. In terms of ADP, this is your projected top 10 QBs. Number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Jaden Daniels. 4 is Jalen Hurts. 5 is Joe Burrow. 6 is Patrick Mahomes. 7 is Baker Mayfield. 8 is Bo Nix. 9 is Jared Goff. And 10 is Kyler Murray. So, who wants to kick off with their top 10 that we can then pull apart?
H can.
Has anyone got any surprises in there?
I potentially have, yeah.
I've got at least one. Okay, so there's going to be a few surprises. Right, let's go for it then. So mine, I've gone number 1, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Jaden Daniels. Number 6 is Baker Mayfield. Number 7 is Jared Goff. Number 8 is my wild card, and I've gone Brock Purdy because I think the 49ers schedule is quite a nice schedule. And if he can keep players fit, I think he could have a really good season. 9, Pat Mahomes, and then 10, Bo Nix. So I've swapped out Kyler Murray for Brock Purdy, but I think Purdy is a little bit higher. But purely down to schedule, I think he could have a really good year because the 49ers schedule seems fairly comfortable. And then on top of that, he's got what looks to be a very fit CMC back. So I think that could be a big bonus to them. So yeah, I'm going with that.
We are 8 minutes in, and I'm already not enjoying season 3 of this podcast because that made everything you just said made a lot of sense. That's not really our vibe.
It's not really H, is it?
Yeah. We see what happens when H actually turns up on time.
So not only that, I've done a little bit of prep and rock up on time, and there it is.
That's all we ask, mate.
Bang.
So, do you know what? Brock Purdy didn't even come into my consideration for top 10, which gives you he's not in mine. But I don't dislike the choice. I think it's I can see that. I could see that happening. I agree. I think the 49ers are in a strange position. You don't know how good the defense is going to be. I think they're going to have to go out and score points, and he could quite easily. He's shown in the past he's a good player. And the rest of it, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just think like if he can keep everyone fit and even if he just gets going a little bit, I think he could have a really good season because, like I said, the schedule isn't the most difficult on paper, but no one's played a snap yet, so it could be the hardest schedule in the NFL. But I just think I like him. I've thrown Baker up a little bit. I think I got Baker at 6, so that's a little bit higher than his ADP. I think he's 7 at the minute, so throw him up 1, which is over Mahomes. You're
throwing one up Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
there we go. Now we're going.
There we go. Now we're back. Now we're back to the normal Ian ways. But yeah, I'm confident in my top 4. I do think Jaden Daniels is a really good player. I don't have him, even with his rushing ability, I don't have him above Hurts or Burrow. And that's why he's down a tiny bit. But yeah, happy.
So I've got a couple of questions. I've got a couple of questions before we move on to Ian, unless you have a question, Ian.
No, it's more of a statement, really. So just a bit of a spoiler for what we're doing after the QBs today. We're going to go through the AFC and how we plan those divisions going. So to do that, I went through all the fixtures last night and did my predictions for each team. And I agree with H that the Niners have got a relatively straightforward season ahead of them. Granted, we've not played a single snap, so it's really difficult to judge. But I've got the Niners, spoiler alert for next week, the Niners are having a monster year based on league performance. And I think Brock Purdy is a candidate for having a monster year as well, because he's got CMC, who could realistically finish as running back 1. He's got George Kittle that could finish as tight end 1. Someone's got to get the ball to both of those players. And whoever that player is also going to have a monster year. So things look good for Brock Purdy. And same again for Jaden Daniels. As I was doing the predictions for each team, I've also got the Commanders having an amazing year. I won't tell you what, we'll say that for next week. But I think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are set up for a good year too.
So my questions were going to be, H, Kyler's the one who missed it out. Is that because you're down on Kyler, or because somebody had to fall down slightly, so he'd probably be 11, 12, 13 in that sort of territory?
Yeah, literally. I actually think Kyler may be the one that surprises. So I know we said that we were going to do a couple that could surprise us. Kyler's one name that's on the list. Purely, I think he could end up having a really good year. I think if Marvin Harrison makes a big jump, he's obviously got McBride. James Conner's a solid running back, and then on top of that, you've got Trey Benson in there as well, who's not a bad player. The Wilson, the receiver's not a bad player. Like, I think Kyler could have a good year. It's just, for me, somebody had to drop out for Purdy, and he was probably the easier pick. I could have maybe gone with Nix. It was close between him and Nix, but I went with Nix over Kyler.
And did you have Bo Nix at 10?
I had Bo Nix at 10, yeah.
Yeah, he was going to be my second question is, are you worried about Bo Nix? He was so good last year once he got going. I can't decide. When it comes to Bo Nix, I can't decide whether the back end of the year, if you just kind of go, or the second half of the year, if you just kind of extrapolate that over a full season, it's like, wow, he could be absolutely brilliant. Or everything they've done in the offseason in terms of drafting RJ Harvey and then going out and bringing J.K. Dobbins in, and then not really, I mean, they've brought Evan Ingram in, but they've not really given him any more weapons to go with Courtland Sutton, and just kind of go, actually, does Sean Payton want to run the ball a little bit more, and is that going to limit what Bo Nix could do?
I think it will. I think J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey could be a really nice 1-2 punch. And one of the things that the Broncos really struggled with last year was running the ball. So having two players come in to fight for the RB1 spot ahead of, three guys that were all tried and tested and didn't do anything, I think it could be slightly beneficial to Nix that he doesn't have to. He's not constantly in sort of third and longs anymore, and he could be able to just move the rock a little bit better. They added Pat Bryant, if I remember right, that's the third rounder. But I also think that there's a chance of a couple of the receivers potentially having better years because they're a little bit more a little bit more NFL ready, because they're not just fresh. I think somebody like Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims could be decent depth pieces that will eventually help Bo Nix in the long term. I just think Nix is a good player. He looks after the ball. If nothing's on, he's going to tuck and run, and players that add a bit of rushing ability tend to give you a lot more points as well. So I'm confident in him, but I do think he I don't think he's quite number 8. I think he is. So I've got him a little bit lower.
I did like Sean Payton comparing Pat Bryant to Michael Thomas.
Oh yeah.
All right. He's not even stepped on an NFL field yet, but let's just compare him to one of the, like, if you take that season, one of the best wide receivers of the last 10 year seasons. So yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, he's looked at Pat Bryant and he's gone, yeah, that boy can run a slant.
He can take a shot off a linebacker.
He looks like if he has a good season, he'll be gone after that. So we'll never see him again. Right, Ian, you're up.
Yeah, so my top three don't vary away from the ADP. So I've got Josh Allen, Lamar, and Jaden Daniels. They're my top three. Then I've got Joe Burrow in at 4 over Jalen Hurts in at 5. And that's purely because we're doing 6 points per passing touchdown. And Joe Burrow got 40 odd of them last year. I think it was 41 passing touchdowns, which equates for a hell of a lot more points. At 6, I've got Baker Mayfield. 7, I've got Jared Goff. 8, I've got Justin Herbert. 9, I've got Dak Prescott. And 10, I've gone Brock Purdy. So I suppose my surprises there with Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott in the top 10 at the expense of Pat Mahomes and Bo Nix.
Do you not got Mahomes in the top 10 at all?
No, I don't.
I'm shocked. In no way, shape, or form.
Well, this is fantasy, right? There is no denying that Patrick Mahomes is one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in real world football in the NFL. But if you look at what he's got around him, Travis Kelce looks old as anything. His mind isn't on the game right now. His mind is on throwing one up Taylor Swift.
To use a H-ism.
Yeah. You've got Rashee Rice, who might not play much football at all this season, depending on what the NFL do with him. You've got Xavier Worthy, who went to concussion protocol this year. Like they are absolutely on their arses for receiving weapons.
Hollywood Brown time.
Juju Smith-Schuster's there as well.
I think they're more realistic looking at Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis. I think that's about where the Chiefs are right now in terms of preseason panic.
I don't. I mean, I've got Mahomes in my top 10, but I think a big year is probably out of his. And I think actually, compared to when you look at the weapons, it's not the weapons that worry me because I do like Hollywood Brown. I think Worthy's in concussion protocol apparently at the moment, but we've still got 5 weeks to go, so that's not really a worry. I think Rashee Rice will get 5 or 6 games. He probably would have taken 5 or 6 games to get fully up and running anyway because he's coming back from a pretty big knee injury. I'm not worried about the weapons. I'm still worried about the same thing that I was worried about last year with the Chiefs, in that their defense is really good, and if they keep keeping other teams down to sort of 14, 15 points, he doesn't have to do that much, and they will keep handing the ball to Kareem Hunt or Isaiah Pacheco, and he's just not going to put up. We're not going to see those big explosive second quarters that we used to see with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce back in the day, so it is a bit of a concern. Who else did you have falling out of your top 10? Murray?
Kyler Murray drops out. Brock Purdy's in. Bo Nix drops out. Dak Prescott's in.
Anything? I like the Dak Prescott pick, as you will find out in a minute. Anything about Kyler and Bo Nix that we haven't already covered that pushed them out of the top 10 for you?
Yeah, I think Bo Nix is a fantastic quarterback. I think he overperformed last year, so I think he had a much better year than he will have this year. I think what we'll see this year from Bo Nix is not maybe to what CJ Stroud entered the NFL with, to what CJ Stroud produced last year, which we all know wasn't entirely his fault. You know, he got an O-line that's terrible, and he was down on receivers. I think the same is going to happen with Bo Nix. I think he's going to drop this year, and then year 3 we'll kind of see in the middle where he actually is.
Okay. I like it.
And then Kyler, I'm just not buying it. I mean, last year he rushed less. He rushed less than he's rushed in any season in his career so far. He's just not that good with the ball. Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't set the world alight last season like he was supposed to. I just don't see Kyler Murray being a top 10 QB.
I think he has to rush more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't understand. There was games last year where he just wasn't running, and they didn't plan any rushing. They didn't put anything in the game plan, and I was just like, I don't understand how you can have Kyler Murray under center and just not use that element of his game. It makes absolutely no sense. So
I think it could be a really big year for Kyler. I think he will have a good year, but I could see the Cardinals potentially moving on at the end of this year as well, because I think I'm not going too far down the road, but there's a lot of QBs coming out in the rookie next year. I just think that he doesn't fit what the Cardinals want. They want a passing QB, and that they're a running first team. Just last year I can't remember the game, but they did. Was it 14 straight running plays, and they were just constantly. They were gaining 3-4 yards each time. I just don't think he is what the new staff of the Cardinals want, if that makes sense.
Which I would argue may well be true, but I would argue that's terrible coaching. So whether you want or not, he's your quarterback. So use his skill set. Don't try and make him be someone else. Like that's just, doesn't matter what sport you play. That's terrible coaching.
Yeah,
right.
It'd be like if the Jets this year didn't give Justin Fields any rushing plays. So why have you picked him up then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, repeat though.
So my top two are I can't see a world, barring injury, where Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson aren't 1 and 2 in one order or another. I've lent Josh Allen mainly because, and I don't know how you two feel about this, but mainly because I think Lamar had such a good year last year in terms of passing touchdowns and yards, that I just feel like there's a dip coming. That'll still be a pretty elite dip, but it's a dip nonetheless. And I think Josh Allen's shown he's at that level. The other thing that when you look at Lamar's stats surprised me is he doesn't actually score a lot. He does a lot of rushing, and he doesn't score a lot of rushing touchdowns for the amount of rushing he scores, for the amount of rushing he does. Sorry, so that surprised me. I have got Joe Burrow at 3 though. I think the Bengals are on for a mega year, especially offensively. Again, I can only see injury stopping that. I've got Jalen Hurts at 4, and then I've got Dak Prescott at 5.
Oh,
I think they are going to have. I just don't think there's anything there rushing wise. I think their defense is middle of the road, and I think he's going to have to just absolutely chuck it around the yard every single game. And I think it'll be a little bit like the Joe Burrow with not as good a weapons, but I still think he's going to have to throw it around a lot. So I've got Dak Prescott at 5. I've got Jaden Daniels at 6. I've got Kyler Murray at 7. Patrick Mahomes at 8. And then Jordan Love at 9. And Baker Mayfield at 10.
I can get on board with 9 of those. The only one I'm not having is Jordan Love.
I think Jordan Love is the most underrated QB this season.
That's fine. That's fine. Jordan Love might be the best QB to ever play the game. The fact is that no one can catch the ball.
Right. I'm not going to start going on about Jaden Reed again.
I'm in on Jaden Reed. I'm in on Jaden Reed, mate. I like Jaden Reed. I think he's going to be wide receiver 1 at the Packers. Okay. I'm yet to see anything from Golden, from any training camp. There's been 0 hype videos about Matthew Golden. So what is he doing? Well, then it's Jaden Reed and nothing else. So I know Tucker Kraft is all right, and behind that Luke Musgrave, but I'm just not buying the Packers receiving room.
I think it's easy to forget that Jordan Love was the QB5 2 years ago. Like he's got it in his locker, and I think they don't have. Well, that's a lie. They have one elite weapon, Jaden Reed.
No, Josh Jacobs.
They don't have multiple elite weapons. However, I don't think Matthew Golden's going to be brilliant, but he is another option there. Dontavian Wicks will have 2 games, and then he'll start dropping the ball again. Romeo Doubs is still there. They've got
that is the only positive thing you can say about Romeo Doubs. He's still there.
They've got options in the run game, and they've got a couple of half decent tight ends. I like Tucker Kraft, and I think Musgrave's underrated. So it's like I just feel like there's enough there that I don't. Other than Jaden Reed, I don't really want any of their skill position players. But I would take Jordan Love at his current ADB.
So just to read, who's dropped out of your top 10 then? I've
got no Bo Nix, and I've got no Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff will regress because of many various things, but partly the defense. There's no way. I haven't watched quarterback, but the things I've heard about quarterback so far is just that the coach, Dan Campbell, God, his name jumps out of my head. Dan Campbell knew that they were going to have to win the game throwing the ball around and scoring points. And I just can't see them going out. And Jared Goff has no rushing ability whatsoever. And I just can't see. I just think they will drop off in terms of points scored. And
you've got to remember they had they had one of the worst injury plagued seasons in the whole of NFL history last year. They've got the two starting linebackers back. They've got Aiden Hutchinson back. They've got what's the other lad?
That's my point. If they don't have to, then I don't think last year they had to go and score 30 points a game. I think they averaged 33 points a game or something. They're not going to have to score that many points this year.
Yeah, but they did that when they were scoring 50 points when the other team had 5 or 10 or something like that. They weren't bothered. They were just going to score points. I think Goff will have a little bit of a drop off, but I still like Goff. I think he's got good weapons there. I think the only potential for him to have a major drop off is the whole Ben Johnson going to the Bears. But even then, Goff's proven that he's got really good chemistry with St. Brown, Laporta, Jameson Williams. He's got good weapons there. And then that's not even taken into the fact that he does quite a few screens to Jahmyr Gibbs, who takes him to the house. Goff has the weapons. I disagree with that because I think the Lions will still have a good year. They may not put up quite as many points as they did last year, but I think Goff is a good quarterback, and I think he will. I think it's to say that he's going to drop off that much. I think it's wrong.
Pete has made the mistake here in going in on a team managed by Dan Campbell.
It's not.
He's absolutely lost his mind.
No, it's not that, because I don't agree with Dak Prescott being anywhere near the top 5. I think I don't even see him making the top 10. Even if he has a phenomenal season, there's nothing about Dak Prescott that impresses me. I've said this, but yeah.
The thing is, right, I didn't say Jared Goff was going to drop into the 20s. I just said he wasn't going to be a top 10 quarterback. I think you two only had him at 8 and 9. I was like, I've
got him at 7.
You got him at 7, sorry.
I had him at 8.
Yeah. I mean, he was what? He finished at 6 last year, and he finished at 6 last year, and they were scoring 33 points a game.
Yeah, but most of that was rushing, David Montgomery running it in from 2 yards out, and I've said it before. I think David Montgomery is going to regress this year, and I think he's going to start to hit that decline, which means it's going to be more passing for Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think Jared Goff's going to go up this year.
Jared Goff threw 37 touchdowns last year, which is 7 more than he did the previous year. So all I'm suggesting is if he comes down to late 20s again, late 20s, maybe 30, I think that's, with the fact that he doesn't rush, I think that's enough to potentially drop him out of the top 10.
Fair enough.
And here comes Jordan Love.
Yeah, Jordan Love's a ridiculous shout.
Well, we'll see.
With bang average weapons.
We shall see. Listen, you pick 9 of the top 10 in ADP and will give us nothing to talk about, H. And I'll try and mix it up. But yeah, Dak Prescott, top 5.
Okay. So that's your wild card for someone currently ranked out of the top 10 for ADP to finish in the top 5.
Well, it wasn't going to be my wild card, but it was just how I ranked him. I mean, again, 2 years ago he finished as the quarterback 3. He's got the ability to do it. He's done it in the past. He's finished as the QB 2 in the past. He can do it. And now he's got Pickens on one side, Lamb on the other. I like Ferguson. I know you like Ferguson, Ian.
Yeah.
He's got options to throw it to, and you cannot tell me that anybody in this virtual room likes their running backs.
No, not at all. You know how I feel about Johnny Williams.
I think their defense is middle of the road, and as we stand, their best defensive player is on the verge of holding out. And to be honest, I would hold out if the owner didn't know how to pronounce my name properly. So like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's that.
I might have gone a bit too far with top 5, but I'm pretty confident I'm sticking with it.
Essentially,
so
go on.
No, on that point, I did ask you to bring someone who's not necessarily in your top 10, not in the top 10 of the ADP, but someone you'd think could have an outlier season and finish in the top 5. I think yours will be the same as mine, Ian. So I'm going to go to you first.
Well, you'd be wrong. Because my outside the top 10 to finish top 5 is actually Brock Purdy.
Oh, okay. That's not who I thought you were going to say. So, yeah, that could happen. Anything you want to add, or just is that it?
No, I've already gone through the reasons why I think Brock Purdy's going to have a big year. Kittle tight end 1, McCaffrey's running back 1. Purdy's going to give him the ball. He's going to do really well. Plus the schedule that they've got.
Cool. H?
Drake May. No, I'm joking. Mine is purely on the rushing ability, and I think he's got fairly decent weapons. It's Justin Fields. I think
that's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, the rushing upside. If the Jets use him properly and they use the weapons around him, Justin Fields could be that surprise package.
I was going to go with Justin Fields as well as my secondary one outside of Dak. And I think he was in 2022, he was the QB7 in only 15 games played. That was that big year he had with the Bears and DJ Moore. He only threw for 2,200 yards that season and 17 touchdowns. It was all the damage he did on the ground. It was over 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. He will have to be top 5, he will have to do something close to that 1,210, which is a lot to ask because I like the weapons he's got, but I don't think he's got enough of them to get to 3,500 yards through the air. I think Garrett Wilson could potentially have a 1,500 yard season, but beyond that, I don't see a lot.
I think they're going to. So this just on. I think they're going to use Breece Hall a little bit more. I hope so. I hope Breece Hall has a huge year this year. I really do. I like Wilson. I think Corley could take a little jump this year. But other than that, yeah, they've not got a great deal. But Garrett Wilson played with Fields in college. They know each other. They've got a good understanding. And I think that's another big part of it is that, and in my opinion, Wilson is by far a better receiver than DJ Moore, which I think has a massive implication as well.
Right. Anything either of you want to make a point? One last, oh God, get your words out, Pete. Any last point you'd like to make about QBs before we move on to our AFC predictions?
No.
Cool. Right. So we are now going to go through the East Division in the AFC, A to North, East, South, and West. And I'm just trying to get the odds up because that's what I meant to do beforehand. We might as well start with the North. I'll take you through in terms of who the bookies think is going to finish 1 to 4. And then I want your predictions 1 to 4. And then we can have a very quick discussion about it, move on, not spend too much time on each one. The AFC North bookies have got the Ravens to win it ahead of the Bengals, with the Steelers finishing 3rd and the Cleveland Browns in last place. This might not be the best division to start with in terms of...
I can't imagine anyone's got any different than what the bookies think.
No, that's what I was going to say. Has everybody gone for that 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
And as this is your division, Ian, I'm gonna ask H this question. if there was to be a change in that, where would your money go in terms of what you think that change is going to be?
Bengals 1, Ravens 2. There's no way Steelers or Browns are going to move up from 3 and 4. In my opinion. Sorry.
I would agree with that.
I just can't see, with what the Steelers have done in the off-season, I don't think they've done enough to improve. I think they're going to have a bad season. And then the Browns, I can't even tell you what they're going to do. I can't tell you who's going to start the season as QB1.
I can tell you what the Browns are going to do.
Tank.
I can tell you exactly what the Browns are going to do because I've gone through the schedule and I know exactly what every team's going to do. And I'm going to be bang on with all 32 teams without fail.
I think
just like I did last year.
I think the problem with the Browns is they don't know any of the skill positions. They don't know, obviously, with the situation with Judkins. That's
not helped at all.
That's not helped at all, which means they're potentially not got a starting running back anymore. I couldn't tell you who's going to be throwing the ball. I feel sorry for Judge Judy because he's gone there. He had a monster season last year, and it's just back to the Browns being the Browns when they could have made a bit of a jump. And it's just a terrible organisation.
So, out of interest, Ian, what's the difference in your rankings between the Ravens and Bengals?
It's a 2-game difference.
Oh, okay.
So the Ravens
splitting.
Yeah, they're going to win a game each against each other.
Are the Bengals starting 0-2 again?
No, we're not. Because we've got the Browns week
mad
1.
On this.
There you go. And I've got the Browns going 0-17, so...
Hold up. Didn't we do this last year?
I know.
Didn't we do this last year, week 1, when you played the Patriots?
Yeah, we did. We did this exactly. Yeah.
Everyone, if you're listening to this, throw your mortgage on the Browns beating the Bengals week 1.
Yeah, 100%. I copy and paste from last year.
I came into this thinking I think the Bengals are going to have a really good year. I think they're going to overcome a lot of their defensive issues. And then when you just look at it, you just kind of go, I just can't see, all being well, I just can't see how they sneak above the Ravens, unfortunately, because I think the Ravens, I would have the Bengals offense over the Ravens offense probably most days of the week. I think the Ravens will just be too good on both sides of the ball to lose as many games as I think the Bengals will lose, unfortunately. I don't think it might even be one game in it, but I think it'll be close.
So the only way we'll do it is I've obviously got the Ravens winning 1 and the Bengals winning 1 of the divisional matchups. I've also got the Steelers taking a game off the Bengals as well. So if we win both Ravens games and both Steelers games, then that will do it for us. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility. I just don't see us beating the Ravens twice.
No, it feels like you need to beat the Ravens twice, but
yeah,
we'll see. Should we move on then to the East?
Yeah.
So the bookies have got the Buffalo Bills as a very, very strong favourite. In fact, the strongest favourite in the AFC to win their division, 3-1 on. Then the Patriots are second favourite, which surprised me a little bit. The Dolphins, third favourite, and then the New York Jets at the bottom of the division. It's 18-1 shots to win the division, which seems a bit ridiculous, but I also can't see it happening. So H, have you gone with consensus?
No. I've gone Bills 1. I've gone Pats 2. I've gone Jets, then the Dolphins.
Jets.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Dolphins have got no secondary at all. I think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I think they're going to have to... I just can't... I've got no upside to the Dolphins at the minute. I think Tyreek Hill had saying that, I said Tyreek Hill's had a bad year last year. He still got 1,000 yards, if I remember right. I've never been on Jalen Waddle like you have, Pete. I just can't. I can't do it. I've tried. I think he's going to have a better year. I think I said it last year, he should be the wide receiver one of this team now, and he's not.
That is a scheme issue because they're trying to feed the ball to Tyreek Hill.
100%.
That isn't a Jalen Waddle. That isn't a Jalen Waddle issue. That is let's get the ball to Tyreek issue.
I also think there's an element of Jalen Waddle does a lot of his better work down the field, and they have to get the ball out so quickly because Tua's going to end up in the hospital. And I think that is a massive element to it as well. They've got good running backs, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. I feel like it's going to be a bad year for the Dolphins, and I couldn't decide between the Jets and the Pats at 2. I don't. There's no way anyone is even close to the Bills. I'll state that no one's getting close to the Bills. That's a walk in the park. I just went with Pats a little bit more.
Before we go to you, Ian, I'm going to jump in at this point because I've got the same as UH, except I've got the Jets finishing second ahead of the Pats. Because there seems like the odds.
Not that shocking now, is it, Ian? Now you make Pete's backing me up with the Dolphins at 4.
the odds on the Patriots surprise me. I know people like Vrabel. There's a lot of fluff around Drake May. I just don't see it. I think they will have a good, solid year. I just don't see them putting enough together to be second in that division. And I agree. I think the Bills are 12 and 5, 12 and 5 or 13 and 4 on their own. It's just a fight for second. And I don't think the Jets will have a mega year, but I think they'll probably get to 9 and 8. Patriots might get to sort of 7 and 10. And I also think the Dolphins are he's either going to find a solution and fix it, in which case they will push the Bills all the way somehow, or they're going to collapse and Mike McDaniel will be gone by the end of November. And I think it's more likely to be the latter.
Yeah, I just think defensively, I know they've got a good defensive front, but the back end, they have no one now. Like, they've literally lost all of their starters from last year. Now, you can argue the Bills did that the year before, but the difference is the Bills have Josh Allen who's going to carry them. And, that's a completely different argument. It's a completely different team. The Dolphins don't look strong. They don't look a good enough team, in my opinion. So I just think that. And then the Pats-Jets argument for me was down to, I think the Pats have improved massively on offense in terms of the bringing in Trevion Henderson. They've got Stephon Diggs. So they've tried to give weapons, and I think Mike Vrabel is an outstanding head coach. I still don't understand why the Titans got rid of him, because 2 years ago he took them to the championship game. So for me, that was a key factor as well. I think Vrabel will do really good work there. So that's why I've lent Pats over Jets, but it was close. Come on, Ian. I've got the Dolphins too.
I will agree, Pats over Jets, but that is 3rd and 4th place. The Dolphins are going to finish second with two words for you. Darren Waller.
Oh God, no.
No, I'm only saying I've got the Dolphins finish second, but not because of Darren Waller. It's a new season. Like when I went through the schedule, I am assuming that Tua will play every game, which I know it's a stretch, but you can't predict a season and predict someone's going to get injured. So Josh Allen could get injured week 1, and the Bills could finish bottom of the division. So to assume that Tua's going to get injured, you'd have to do that for every team if we're going to be realistic about it. So I've got the Dolphins at 2, Pats 3, and Jets 4.
Okay. Yeah, it's a massive year for Mike McDaniel, for sure.
His playoffs are gone for McDaniel this year.
In terms of that division, I mean, obviously everyone's looking at the Bills and going, can they get to the Super Bowl? Can they win the Super Bowl? Like, they've got a hump, they've got their own little hump to get over. It's almost as if they're going to win the division, and then that's when their season starts. Their season starts at Christmas, and it's like, can they then push on? And I suppose the whole debate for them is, can they get the number 1 seed and at least have home advantage through the playoffs, which they've struggled to get in the last few years. but outside of that, I think the Jets will do what the Jets do. They've got a new head coach. They've nailed down their offensive weapons. It'll be a case of, does Justin Fields have a good year? The big question in that division for me is, will Mike McDaniel still be there at Christmas? Because he's got to sort something out. They had all those years where they seem to play well in September and October, and then as soon as the weather turns, it all goes wrong. And then last year it all went wrong with Tua getting injured, and he's not any better. Right.
Yeah, and they still finished second in the division.
On to the South. So the Texans are slightly better than even money, or slightly worse than even money, depending which way you look at it. You're not quite getting even money on the Texans to win the division. The Jags are second favorite, slightly ahead of the Colts, and then the Titans are still expected to be the basement team. As H and I have skin in the game, I'm going to let you go first, Ian.
This is just a terrible division.
It is. But we love it.
It really is.
It's a terrible division, but we love it. So
I've got the Texans winning the division with a record of 9-8. Which shows you how bad this division is. Yeah, it's playoffs, isn't it? Just get there. Then I've got the Titans second, Jags third, and the Colts last.
Titans over Jags over Colts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that won't happen, because this division could quite easily be 9, 8, 7, and 6 wins in any order you want. I think there's not really a.
Sorry. You said 9, 8, and 7 wins. Let me be very clear. I've got the Titans second place with 4 wins.
Oh, Jesus. There's absolutely no way that's happening.
We got a 5-game. We win the division by 5 games, according to Ian.
Yeah.
I'll take that at the start of the season.
Cruising. The Texans might actually rest players in week 17.
Is anyone outside of
18.
the Texans winning games outside the division in this, or is it just, have you just seen AFC South against another division and gone, well, that's a loss? So.
Pretty much. No, I did some real statistical analysis based purely on feels and vibes.
I think what have you got? Have you got the Colts winning a game or what?
Yeah. You get one.
What, 1-16?
Yeah, it might be the Jags at home.
That's unbelievable.
Oh no, have you got the Saints at any point, or the Browns?
We've got our schedule's not actually that bad, really. It's pretty. I mean,
according to Ian, it's terrible.
But you look at the division.
The schedule's well easy. It's just that your team's terrible.
I think you're underestimating Shane Steichen.
I think people
I wasn't
are
upset when you put
overestimating
score.
either.
I'm upset now that you've said 1-16.
1-16, and I think that's a Saints game or something like that.
He has left the podcast.
Yeah. Well, we'll outperform that. I have no doubt. We'll have outperformed that by week 3. So we're going to win 2 of the first 3. I can't remember who the games are, but I remember thinking we'll win 2 of the first 3. H, do you want to jump in with yours?
I've gone Texans, Jags, Titans, Colts.
What is going on here?
So the reason I've gone Jags is I think Liam Cohen's a really good OC. I know he's going to head coach and it's going to be step up for him, but I think he could get the best out of the weapons there. So it could be a big year again for Brian Thomas Jr. They've also got Travis Hunter in there now, and we don't know what he's going to be, but I just think I think with Cohen, it's a big, potentially a big season for the Jags. I just think the Texans are stronger than him, but that's probably biased on my side. But I do think the Texans are the better team. And then the Titans and Colts, it was a toss-up. I think the Titans have improved massively. I think the Colts have, in terms of I think they've had a couple of really nice off-season moves with their secondary that they've improved because they've got the Byram and they've got Ward. I think they're really good players who could really help the defense out. It's just the quarterback situation. It's either Anthony Richardson, who could be amazing one week and then absolutely ass the next week, or it's going to be Daniel Jones, who you just never know what you're going to get out of either. So, and I just think that is a difficult situation, and that even with Jonathan Taylor, who is the absolute star of that offense, and it's not even close. Like, Pittman regressed massively last year. I know Alex Pierce stepped up, but I just don't see the Colts having a good year. Sorry, Pete.
I had more. I'm going to be honest. I had more confidence in the Colts a couple of weeks ago when I thought Richardson was going to be injured, and he's not because I don't want to see him, but I think he needs to sit on the bench. He needs to play second fiddle, do a bit of a Bryce Young, and then hopefully get his opportunity and come through. He needs to learn, and he needs time to learn, and he needs to be humbled a little bit. And I think that Shane Steichen, together with Jonathan Taylor and the pieces we've got, are good enough to make Daniel Jones efficient. Right, and that was kind of where my hope was for the Colts.
My thing with that is, for Dan Jones to do kind of what he did with the Giants, he would need Saquon Barkley, and I think there is that drop off between Saquon and Taylor, and I just can't see it. I think I completely agree with you on Richardson. Richardson's coming out of college, Richardson had only started 13 games, and he is been, because of his combine and everything like that, he got triggered right up to a first rounder. Personally, I don't think he should. He should have probably had one more year in college, got more game time, and then even when he came in, I think I said this when you drafted him, if he sits there for 6 to 8 weeks, learns the system, learns how an NFL quarterback plays, he could develop really nicely. I just think he's got thrown in the deep end, and now it looks poor a lot of the time. I think he struggles. He can't make the basic throws, but he makes 60-yard bombs, and you're just like, how can you do that but not a really easy throw? And it's that level of inconsistency that has led them to picking up Dan Jones and going
back to our conversation about camp highlights. I think I sent it around on one of our WhatsApp groups. There was a Tyler Warren catch that was getting bigged up on Colts Twitter, and you were just like, yeah, Tyler Warren's going to get absolutely smashed if Anthony Richardson's throwing those passes.
Keep throwing in those, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's lead him down the field, and then there's like lead him into a right load of trouble, expecting to catch it. So
just straight into a blindside tackle from a linebacker coming over.
Yeah, Tyler Warren's either going to have a brilliant year or have 2 concussions and miss half the games. So good luck to him. Right. Well, in that case, I mean, I've got the Colts to win the division at 9-8. So you're both wrong. I've got the Jags finishing second at 8-9. I've got the Titans at 7-10, and then I've got the Texans falling apart. I don't really have any analysis for this other than I've just got a feeling, and this isn't me being harsh, H. I'm not, I've just got a feeling something's going to go wrong for the Texans this year. And I can't work out what it is. I can't really put my finger on it, but sometimes you get a feeling in your gut, and you've just got to run with it.
I love it.
But if it makes you feel better, I think you'll get to 6 wins, which is usually your target. So I think you will get to 6 wins.
No, 6 wins was when it was CJ's rookie year.
Yeah, so that's my prediction. I think the Jags will be good, but not quite good enough to pick the Colts in what is a terrible division.
Yeah, I can agree on that one.
Okay, let's move on to the West. This should be interesting.
Well, West.
Yeah, I'm already predicting Ian's got the Chiefs to finish 5th in a really tight division.
No. Goodell wouldn't allow
that. The Chiefs are favourites to win the division, similar to the Texans, just slightly under even money. The Broncos and the Chargers are then joint second, according to Bet365. Other bookies are available at 3-1, and the Raiders are a far stretch out at 16-1, which means the Raiders are expected to win the division as much as the Jets are expected to win the division. So no one's expecting much from the Raiders, which surprised me a little bit because they have been talked about over the offseason. Has anybody not got the Chiefs to win? Of course you haven't. Go on then, let's start with you.
And H?
Yeah, never have I, to be honest. So let's. I just thought I was looking at Ian, but go on, Ian. In fact, actually, we started with you on the South. Let's start with you, H. Who have you got to win the West?
Chargers.
Okay.
I think they're going to make another big jump. Harbaugh worked wonders last year. I think a few of the players, especially defensively, still having that core and having another year. On top of that, they add in 2 better running backs than they had last year, in my opinion. I know we haven't seen Hampton in terms of NFL, but
in fairness, Najee Harris hasn't seen him either.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get clipped onto socials, I'm going to be devastated.
I like Najee Harris. I like Hampton. I think Lad McConkey's a stud, but I've always said that. I just think they've got much better weapons and just taking that extra jump. And yeah, Herbert looks really comfortable in the system that they've got, and I really like the Chargers. But it's my soft spot team. Them and the Panthers are my soft spot team, so it doesn't surprise me that I've gone Chargers at 1.
Chargers, okay. Give us the rest of the division.
Chargers 1, Chiefs 2. Very closely behind is the Broncos, and then the Raiders a fair bit back. But I do think the Raiders are being massively underestimated. I think they're a slightly better unit this year with Geno, with Genti. So
I think the Raiders, and this was where the odds come from. I think the Raiders are going to be a better team, and I think they'll be better to watch, and I think they will improve. And then you start looking at the rest of the division and go, I don't know how they don't finish 4th again. So that's the
problem, isn't it?
Ian, have you got anything different to H?
Yeah, so I've got Chargers, Chiefs, then Raiders over the Broncos. But I've got the Chargers and the Chiefs with a 1-game difference, and the Raiders and the Broncos with a 1-game difference. So the divisional matchups in the AFC West are going to be huge.
I've gone with just to jump in slightly. I've gone with what H said. I've gone Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. I don't know what it is. I just think that the Chargers. I mean, you've covered it all, H. I think the Chargers could just push on a little bit more, and I think those. I think I said it about the NFC North last year. I think this year the AFC West is the division to watch. I don't think there's. I mean, I'm assuming there's a lot of prime time in that division because those 4 teams when they play each other, they're the game. That's a game I will watch. I will want to watch that, and I think that even the Raiders, we've all got the Raiders not challenging for it, but I think if the Raiders play the Broncos, I want to watch that game. If the Raiders are playing the Chargers or Chiefs, I want to watch that game. I think there's potential there's a lot of fantasy football potential, but I think there's also potential for it to be really good football.
I think the Raiders over the Broncos, like the Raiders are massively improved on last year. They've gone out, got Geno Smith, massive upgrade in quarterback. Got Johnson, who's backed up by Mostert, who knows the NFL inside out. Mostert's a really sneaky player. Really like that. I like Jacoby Myers. Love Brock Bowers. I think the Raiders are, I think they're set up for a much bigger year than the Broncos. I say much bigger. I've exaggerated. They are set up for a 1-game better year than the Broncos.
I'm not having that. You don't love Brock Bowers. You've never once told us anything that makes us suggest that you love Brock Bowers. One player that I do think will have a better season this year for the Raiders, is Michael Mayer. I think I think they're going to start running 2 tight end sets because I feel like they've got kind of the weapons there now. I know that they picked up Jack Beck as well, who could be the wide receiver 2 by the end of the year. But I think they could run a lot of 2 tight end sets because Brock Bowers is such a weapon that you could use him virtually as a wide receiver and try and take the blocking away from him. So
yeah, I think the Raiders running 12 personnel.
12
it won't look like 12 personnel. It'll look like Bowers as a receiver.
11 man.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say about Bowers on that point, H, is that he had 2 opportunities to draft him in our most recent draft and passed on him both times. So he comes on here and talks like he's the big Bowers man, but he had the chance. And when
to be fair, in every dynasty that I've got against Ian, he has Bowers and he drafted him fairly early. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't care. He missed the opportunity in redraft. He came round to him second round, sat right there, went with a running back instead.
Who was the running back?
It was the Raiders running back, to be fair.
Exactly.
Went with a rookie running back. Right, enjoyed that. It was good. As always, follow us on.
Sorry, Pete. You asked us to do some extra work.
Oh yes, I did. We're not ready to finish yet, are we?
No, we're not. Are you keen to go off? It's that time, isn't it?
Pete, you've got another hour.
In fairness,
I've given you an hour back.
On now, so
yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I had to go and jump on a podcast. I didn't realise I was already here. Yeah, who's your wildcard teams?
So I've gone the wildcard teams, the Bengals at 5, the Chiefs at 6, and then I've got the Broncos at 7.
That's the same.
So I've got Ravens, Bengals, Bills, Texans, Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos.
So that's the same as me, except obviously the Texans don't make it because they're having a bit of a shocker. So Colts will be in there. Ian?
So I've got Bills, Ravens, Chargers, Texans. You want to 4 divisional winners. So Bills will get you home field advantage, and they won't have to play in wildcard. My wildcard teams are the Chiefs at 12 and 5, and then I've got the Dolphins and Bengals both at 11 and 6.
Dolphins. There's a couple of big discrepancies. Mm-hmm. One of them being that me and H don't think the Dolphins will finish in the top 3 in the division, but you think they'll make the playoffs. So
yeah, I think they'll get there. Because I'm assuming Tua and Tyreek Hill are both going to be fully healthy for the entire season, which I know is stretching credulity.
Yeah. Based on all of that, who's going to the Super Bowl?
The Bills.
I've gone Bills.
Yeah, so that's boring, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair,
because of Bosa. Bosa's going to take them there.
I think it's really close between the Bills and the Ravens, and I went back and forward, but it's. I mean, one of them has to get over the hump, so I've gone with the Bills doing it.
I think it's going to be really close in the championship game between the Bills and the Colts, but I think the Bills will just about do it. And the glorious Daniel Jones run will come to a sad end at the end of January.
Tell you what, Pete, when the Colts knock the Bengals out the playoffs.
that could be the end of this podcast. Ian never to be seen again. So I'm not doing it. Right, I enjoyed that. Are we done now, yeah?
Yeah, we are officially done now, Pete. Yeah.
I enjoyed that. As always, thanks for listening or watching us on YouTube. If you haven't tried us on YouTube, you should check us out at JMD Pod. Yeah. At JMD Podcast.
I'm glad you got our name right. That's
at all of our socials. Like and subscribe, share and tell your mates as we go into as already discussed, we go into our 3rd season. Really excited. Next week, we will be bringing you our top 10, maybe top 15 running back rankings, depending on how much time we've got. And we'll also be going through the NFC division by division, as we've just done with the AFC. So look out for that dropping in your podcast list.
I have clicked it. I know what's going on here.